Good morning, everyone. January 19th. It's a big 57 day. It's a big day all around. Quite a few things have transpired since yesterday, and I'm starting to understand some patterns that we've seen. So, Eric Held, shoot, what's his YouTube? Man, how do I not think? Doesn't matter. Either way, Eric D. Held. Doesn't matter. A few days back, said that the Lord told him in a dream that January 18th it begins. That's what he said. And now, January 18th came and went. What happened? Well, a lot of things. The U.S. has deployed essentially our Navy. We've deployed submarines, warships, surveillance planes are going back and forth over the United States. These planes are deployed, you know, in essentially wartime scenarios to detect any incoming things, among other things. Now, and I'll get to that in a minute, because I just had this realization right before I started this. So, let's see, the 19th was the cutoff for NATO to respond to Russia. And the U.S. general, now this is not conspiracy theory, folks. This is straight out of the U.S. military's mouth, right? That they said basically, if Russia wants to try to bully them into submitting, you know, what they want with Ukraine, the U.S. is going to respond strongly. That is what he said. And shortly after that, or during the same time, or maybe just before that, doesn't matter, it all happened the same day, we have now started to deploy our Navy, specifically submarines. We also have U.S. Nuclear control and command plane is in the air. Not super alarming in itself, but it is rare to see that plane up in the sky. You know, I'm really brushing on the facts and the situations. Go check out Paul and Adrian, Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian, or NY Prepper. Both those two guys are really keeping people up to date on what's happening as far as the buildup of war goes. You know, so on the 18th, we, you know, the U.S. military basically said we're going to respond strongly to Russia. We've deployed our Navy, we've deployed submarines, ships. Russia has deployed missiles to Venezuela. Oh, this is out of the mouth of the military as well, the United States. If Russia's going to act aggressively, and I'm paraphrasing here, even as much as putting nuclear-tipped missiles close to our borders. He's talking about the missiles that Russia has moved to Venezuela. Now, so the military is coming out, making it publicly known that there is nuclear-tipped missiles in Venezuela pointed at our country. That we're going to respond strongly. It's, you know, it's so now this is all ahead of the 57 rollout today on the 19th. I got to double check that, and that still went through. I was working a job at someone's house. They had the news on, and they were all about talking about the disruptions to the airlines, if it rolls out, disruptions, there we go, to the airlines. And folks, this is, I know most of you see it, right? This is it's twofold, right? So China's closed its ports. Okay, so mind you, 90% of what comes into America is from China. As far as material goods go, maybe not so much food, but we'll get to that too. Material goods. China's closed its ports due to the cough. And now they're putting it out in the air, and they're telling everybody, and it's got nothing to do with the 57, but this is what they're blaming it on. They're pulling wool over people's eyes. It's got way more to do, way more than just domestic flights. People not being able to travel, planes being canceled or delayed, yada yada. It has to do with shipping. I mean, that's the big thing. It's shipping. This is gonna be another big pinch on goods, which we've already seen the build up significantly over the past 4 weeks of grocery stores and stores not having things in stock. May not be affecting right where you're at, but it is affecting hundreds of cities in America if you do a little bit of research. So this is going to push back even tighter between China closing its ports and air traffic being significantly delayed, canceled, unable to fly. So what's going to happen? And as of the 15th, U.S.-Canada border, you now have to have a passport, the new type of passport, say it that way, in order to cross the borders. So truckers who are unwilling, rightfully so, to receive what is required to obtain a passport. So it all comes back to what's required to obtain the passport, regardless of how the passport is generated. Paper, digital, QR code, chip, doesn't matter. It all comes back to one thing and one thing only. So now trucking shipments across Canada and the U.S. border has come to a pretty grinding, I won't say halt, but significant slowdown. We do about 80% of trade between the U.S. and Canada when it comes to agricultural goods. And that's being significantly affected. There's estimated, now granted these numbers are, well, numbers, so who knows what the actual number is, but around 30 million truckers, or 30 million seems high. 30,000? That's probably more accurate. It's 30 something. We'll have to check into that. 30 million just seems high. No, that's way high. That can't be right. 30,000 truckers that essentially are taken out of the workforce as of the 15th, right? So we're going to see these. So it's compounding, right? China's closing down ports. Airplanes can't fly to deliver packages. Truckers have decreased. I don't know how many truckers there are in the United States, but 30,000 are now, at least, right, taken out of commission. And that's probably, I mean, domestic truckers are still fine. Those truckers that cross the border to bring goods back and forth. Now, this is going to affect Canada as well. Has just happened. Now, let me get to this grounding of planes. This is something I just just thought about grounding of planes. If you go and check out Marfoogle News, a couple weeks back, it was supposed to affect essentially the whole West Coast, and then a couple states, which it did affect a couple states, and then really the main reports were coming out of California, but there was a full ground stop. Every plane was halted in and around California. Now, a full ground stop, that's what they would do. If you go and watch his report, so I think it's called Full Ground Stop, he gets into more detail for you, but that's something that we would do in basically a wartime scenario. So this could have been a training drill, right? Wartime scenario if there are incoming missiles. Now, you might be able to see where I'm getting at with this 57 deployment and all the fear and talk on the mainstream about it affecting airlines. Now, the airlines have already agreed, or the cell towers have already agreed not to deploy within 2 miles. Well, I don't know specifically around 2 miles, but have not deployed around airports for 6 months. So, you know, and I made a video about this before, and they were asking for a 2-week delay, like that was going to do anything. You know, it's got nothing to, you know, it's got nothing to do with the. It's just an excuse. It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. They run on a very close frequency. You know, altimeters run at 4.2 to 4.4 gigahertz. And you have the 57 running at 3.8 to 4.2. So you have that 4.2 gigahertz overlap. And that's it. But, you know, as the tower companies have came out and said, and if you look in other countries, now it's something a little bit different because of C-SPAN. It's a new, you know, a new wave, essentially, that's coming out. But 57 in large has already been deployed and activated at a lower level, like it has in the U.S. in, you know, close to 40 other countries, with no interference of airports. So, and you know, and the tower companies have agreed not to deploy or turn on around airports for 6 months. So, you know, I don't. All this fear mongering that's being put out about the airlines, I think it's a distraction, because I think they're going to make it easier. Well, it's, like I said, it's multiple fold, right? You're going to have these shipping delays. This is how they hide it, right? About what's really happening. They're going to blame it on the 57 in large part. I mean, we know it's because of everything else that's going on, right? It's because the taking a man out on a date, you know what I mean? And the fact that you know, the horsemen are riding. It's what it is. You know, people can disagree with me, and that's fine. You know, you're welcome to your own opinion. But the horses are riding. You know, they don't just ride once and it hits you and that's it. They ride the whole time. Right? It's a buildup. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. It's not like, bam, all at once. There's no food. You know what I mean? It's a buildup. And we see that happening right now. Significantly. It's going to get really, really tight here over the next few weeks into the, you know, as it develops. It's just going to get tighter and tighter. It's like a boa constrictor. Man, it's a snake. How fitting is that? So, whoa, easy now. It's my lane. Wow, there's a lot of traffic this morning. So, yeah, that's, you know, that's, I hadn't thought of that before. As far as the full ground stop goes, and the grounding of flights, I'm going. And the 57 deployment, and wartime scenario situations developing. Conflict by Fire. Bam! That's his YouTube name. Thank you, Lord. Conflict by Fire. Eric D. Hale. Yeah, January 18th it begins, and it did. You know, even more so. Yeah, you know, we'll have to check out what NATO has said to Russia. You know, the meetings essentially got canceled. Dead on arrival. They were of no good. Russia's been taking action. He's you know, and folks too. Everything that's happening around the Ukraine border, it's a distraction. I'm telling you, it's a distraction. Look over here, right? It's a magician move, you know? Look right. Look at my right hand while my left hand's doing something else. It's a distraction. Putin's not stupid. You think everyone's going to have all this buildup and everyone's going to know this is all coming, and so everyone can get ready, and then it happens in the country that, you know, or around the area that we have been planning it and telling it's not. No, it's a distraction. Deception. It's just another deception. You know, I don't know. We'll see. I am keeping my eyes out for large earthquakes today, tomorrow. That's all I got right now, I think. So, yeah. Anyways, let me know. Do you guys see the connection with the full ground stop, the 57 deployment? And again, obviously the increased tightness around goods and supply chain issues. It's just another peg, just another chess move, right? So let me know what you guys think. Till next time, take care. God bless you. Get in the Word today. Spend time with the Lord. You know, again, He wants to spend time with you. So spend time with Him. However that looks for you. You know, I don't think there's any one right way to do it. I would say that the reading the Word is the best way to do it. Ain't got time to read the Word. Spend time in prayer. Spend time in conversation. You know. Spend time with the Lord today. All right, take care. God bless. Jesus Christ is coming back soon.